So that's acting like a bathtub now. For the sake of this, I'm just going to stop them there because the build-up's too much on these little box models. So, right, so I want to get the field area. We'll grow my nails one day. So you've got the field area down, you've got your make full in it, and you've got that down there. On all overlaps, as you would with the PVC, we're just going to cut and round the corners off. That's purely down to the fact that if people walk over a straight edge, a straight corner, it'll start lifting it because people will scuff it. So no other reason than that, and it looks a bit prettier. 50mm lap. And then we're going to weld it up. What we're then going to do, in this instance, we're going to roughly guess where the top is. So we're going to measure it with a sharp knife, and we're going to trim that bit of the top off there, so then we can just stick it on the top. If you were going 2 metres high, I'd say turn it round the corner. When we do the corner, there's going to be a cover strip up there. If you're going up to something like 300mm, I'd just put joints on, because you've got to put cover strip on, so you might as well put a cover strip to the top. So if you're going 2 metres, I'd say turn it round, because you'll be doing 4 metres of weld instead of 2 metres of weld. That makes sense? So we've got that. Now what we're going to do, we're going to cut down the middle and open it up like a pair of curtains. Turn it over. We're then going to bring it down, take the PE film out, giving it a rub, get rid of the air out of it. Same the other side. Penny roller from the middle outwards. If you're doing a 10 metre long flashing, do it from the middle outwards again. If you do it from one end, it'll end up gathering. So in, nice smooth movement, and weld it up. If you're doing it the other way, you'd have marked it 80mm. Again, remove the bottom this time. Level with the outside. Trick to everything you do is to leave as much backing on as possible, because once that touches the primer, like I said, you don't get another go. So you lift it up, penny roller in, remove the backs, get your roller, roll the air out of it. I generally always cut mine back at the top because of build up. Again, roll the flashing up. Now we're at that point now, the only weak point we've got now is that corner, which we all know we're not there. Now if we were doing that with PVC, we'd have brought it past and it'd have come out here, it'd have been nice and pretty, you've had a lovely little thumbprint round there. Now, that's fine, they've told you to put 80mm on all the laps. The weakest point in the roof, they're relying on 20mm. So what we said was, well, we need a corner that's going to work every time and stay working. So what we're going to get is a circle. Everything we do is a minimum of 200mm. If you've got a patch on the roof, it's 200mm. The internal corner is minimum 200, external is minimum 200. Just a little bit of kidology while I've got the circle in the hand. If you've done a nice new roof, and I'm probably telling you all to suck eggs, but I always come out of it anyway, and all of a sudden, someone like you said, puts an hole in it, so let's put an hole in it there, put your patch on there, but put another patch over here, because if it's symmetrical, the customer will always look and go, oh, there must have been something there. Because if he sees one patch, he thinks there's an hole. If he sees two in exactly the same place, he'll think, hang on a minute, oh, there must have been something there, a bar coming up or something. Just stops them asking any more questions. So what we're going to do, we're going to find the centre of this circle. Laydex crap. Right, it's working now. So we're going to find the centre, and what we're going to be looking at doing is probably about 30mm. We're going to cut a notch out of it, like so, about the width of your foot. So to achieve that, we found the centre. I'll get the scissors. I'm just going to cut in and cut up. What you must do is round them corners. If you don't round the corners, the thing is really easy just to do that. Don't go. What happens is, because you've gone to a point, it'll just tear it. Whereas with a rounded corner, it won't do that. So we've got that. That's a little bit big. It's made a coffee for that, haven't we? We're just going to break that reinforcement just around that area there. We're then going to get that centre piece again, trying to keep these two wings pretty level. We're going to put that in position like that. So once that's back, get your weld off, warm the centre section up, and put it in place. Now, just by doing that, you PVC blokes won't like it, but that's as waterproof as a PVC corner ever is. So, but because again, we know our product's going to last that long, we'll make sure. So what we're going to do is we're going to weld all this in and then cover strap that. That gives us then, which is this is the only way of really achieving it, a 100mm cover on all the corners. With felt, if they only have one layer of felt, they'd have a weak point there. Because they've got the base going one way, the felt, the mineral going the other way, they're covered. Whereas the PVC blokes, like I say, have to have that little bit there. That's all they rely on. So once we've got that, the first bits we're going to do, we're going to concentrate on them. They're the next weak point. So we're going to get the weld on and just get your penny roll on and roll that one in. Do exactly the same the other side. So we get that bleed of bitumen out the end. At this point, my instruction book says that you have to pick this roller up and weld that up. Right, this is how you don't do it. Because you just use this, you're not going to put it down. Nice smooth movements. Don't feel you've got to put the gun right in. Don't press too hard, because all we're trying to do, we're just going to smooth it up. And as you can see, we don't need to put the welder right in, because the hot air will do that. Looks a bit messy down there at the bottom now, so what we're going to do, we're going to pretty much pre-weld that in. Then we'll get the big roll off. With everything you weld, it's either up or out. It makes sense because you can't put the welder the other way, so you can't weld down because the weld gets in the way. So you've got that, and you're just going to drive round nice and smoothly. And same from the other side. So there now, the only place that can leak now is there. If we were going 2 metres high, and we have turned it round the corner, all I'd be doing there now is be putting that over the top of it. Once we've actually got that, we're 100ml from there, 100ml from there, 100ml from there. So anything that's filled up that much is the problem with the outlet, not the problem with the workmanship of the roof. So what we're going to do, a 200ml strap, because the circle is 200ml. Down the bottom 2 corners off again, so it looks pretty. And we're going to put that in position like that. I tack everything because it's an habit. Good habit to get into, to be fair. But if I put it up, I can get it off again. Then, because this is being covered, what we want to do, we want to weld along that area there to make sure that it stays sealed. So we're going to come out one way and then come up. We're going to do exactly the same the other way, starting right at that corner. That's the bit that we want to seal. And at this point, generally, if you've got a roof light or a coping stone, you can just cut that off straight there. If you're unfortunate enough to have this kind of detail, all I do there now is mark out where I want to cut. Then I'll weld that bit down. At this point we've got our little pig's ear there, get a little bit of heat in there, seal it up. Now, what a lot of people say is when I pull that over now there's going to be a problem there. So if I've welded that down, I've welded my pig's ear shut. If I weld this all down, because then yes, mush can get in there, but if it freezes, it's going to come this way, it's not going to force the membrane away and it's sealed, which is no different to a pig's ear that the PVC blows through. That's an external corner.